Hi everybody, welcome back, and to anybody that's new, welcome. Please remember to click like and subscribe so you don't miss any of my tutorials. We're gonna get right through it. I've kind of did a test things in the box, just wanted to see what would work, what wouldn't work. I don't want to make this video super long because it's going to be a long video, unfortunately. Not too long. So let's get right to it, and I'm going to stop talking. So you will need 8 boxes. If you want to omit the mirror, you don't have to do the mirror. You can add a 9th box there. I thought I'm just going to add the mirror just because I really like that. Going to need the 8 boxes. Now I picked the ones with the stars, and all of them have the star logo on it. There's also these ones that you can buy at the Dollar Tree as well. On this one, because I wanted to do necklaces and hanging them in the smaller boxes, I didn't really think looked really good, but I'm thinking they're going to look really good in the longer one. So I actually took the ends off of 2 of them to connect to make a longer one. Now they're hard to get off. I've tried to kind of bend it off. They were glued on there pretty good, so I used handy dandy Dollarama or Dollar Tree's little saw that has fine teeth. I sawed it all the way down on both sides, and then I lightly lifted it up because the glue was starting to, as I pulled it a little bit, and I was able to snap it off. So I did that to 2 of them so we can put it there. So my next step is I'm going to actually stain them. I have my deck stain that I had from last year that I've done with my Jenga block tutorials. I think my lantern, my Jenga stand. I was able to use it for a lot of things, and I'm surprised I still have over half a can, being a little can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stain this first. Now I'm probably going to omit not doing so much down on the bottom when I stain it, because when you glue it, you're not going to see it. But making sure the outside borders, depending on where you go, you want to stain it. When we glue it together, I'm just going to put this out there. I bought these little clips. You can actually buy them at Dollar Tree. They ran out when I went back to get another one, and I ended up buying these at Dollarama. So once we get to them being stained and we glue them together and we move on to the next step, when you glue them together, because some of these boards aren't very straight, as you could see down here, that this one's a little bit more crooked. So when you're gluing them together, you can see it makes them more straight, and they will glue tight very well together. And down here you'll see what I mean when I glue this one. But then this looks crooked, but then when you glue it, you just add these little clips and everything will be nicely glued together and even. This one's going to be done a little bit. I'm going to glue this one separate. It just depends on how we put it together here. But that's what we're going to do. So first, let me go back and get this stained. I'll come back and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, everybody. I actually went out. It was a beautiful day today, so I took them outside. I did them 1 coat of the stain. You got to remember, when you use stain, if you haven't used it before, I just had the deck stain. When you brush it on, you take a rag and you wipe it so it's not so streaky. So they dried really well. I'm going to glue these 2 separate. So I'm going to glue them like this, and I'm going to put a clip here and a clip here so they dry even. I am going to use E6000 glue, and I'm going to glue these ones together, and I'm going to use the little clips I showed you earlier so they make sure that they dry straight. So when you see that it's on an angle, and you just got to make sure that they're even all the way around. I will put the mirror in last when I well, not last, but when I turn it over and they're all glued together. So I'm just gonna show you. I'm gonna glue these ones. And I actually did all on the inside. I just figured I'd take the boards that were, sometimes you see the little glue part where they were gluing this together. So the stain doesn't really absorb that well when there's bits of glue. So I'm just gonna, and this one, I'm gonna switch it because I think something's going in there. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna show you one, and then I'm gonna carry on. Let me use this one, I'm almost done this one. I'm just gonna put it. Once I do this, I'm actually gonna leave it overnight and let it dry really good. I'll leave the other two pieces that I am gonna do together. I'm gonna let them dry for a couple hours and then I will attach them. So once I attach them, and you can see, because they're not very, some of them are not really even. So just looking to make sure that it's there. So, and then I will proceed to go around. Like I said, I'll do these ones after and glue them on once these ones are together. So once I glue all these back together and put them all together, then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so I let the boxes glue overnight. I used all the little attachments like I showed you all the way down. I made sure they were even and they all fit in. I did attach the two boxes that were separate. I was able to put them through. The back, I just painted around the edges so you couldn't see on the side if you were able to see. So doing that, it's very sturdy considering, you know, you're only putting jewelry in it and not that heavy. But what I'm gonna do is my next step is I'm gonna put a mirror. The mirror I got for 25 cents at IKEA. So you can, like I said, you could put the box in there if you didn't want to do a mirror, but I'm gonna glue the mirror on there. I'm actually add a little bit of support on there. I got these paint sticks. They don't carry them at the Dollar Tree for whatever reason. I've seen a lot of you say you got paint sticks there. I never see them. These ones from Dollarama actually have measurements. Actually, you can see along there. Not that I don't know why, I guess with paint stuff. But I'm just gonna add an extra bracket. Only for the reason being is with the mirror, it's gonna kind of be, I don't wanna say flush to the wall. So it'll be, but adding this will just add some little bit of leveling with the mirror itself being the same height. I'm gonna glue those. I'm gonna leave it for a couple hours. It's not like I'm gonna hang it. Usually you wanna leave with E6000 glue, you know, at least 24 hours minimum to let everything glue. But I'm gonna add these on and then I'm gonna leave it a couple hours. I'll be back and then we'll start decorating the boxes. Okay, so I put the glue sticks on. I glued the mirror on. I actually put some brackets on here. As you can see, I glued those on as well, which you'll be able to hang this up on the wall. I just got those ones from the hardware store. I think they were in a hanging picture frame kit. I think you can buy them separate as well, but I ended up just buying those ones. So when I flip it over, I've already kind of started and I'll show you a couple things. There's a few more things that we got to go through to finish this project, and I will turn it this other way. So I wanted to put some green in it. So I went to Dollarama and I actually bought them. They were like $2 a square. I end up cutting along the lines for $5 and I trimmed the edges off because the edge part here wasn't on. And I put one in this corner and I put one in the top corner here as well. The next thing I did was put the hooks in. So this is where the long one where we're gonna hang the long necklaces. I bought these little, I think this says 1/2 inch hanging hooks. I bought them at the hardware store. I think they were $1.50 for 6. I bought these ones, and when you're putting them in, now depending if you do the exact same way, if you were to hang a hook here or at the top here and did the double one like this one, the wood's too thin. So you got to make sure when you put the little hooks in that you don't go through all the way. They are just out a little bit. I didn't turn them anymore, but they're in there really good. Now putting these in is similar to doing, like I said in my other video when I put the shelves on the hula hoop one, that I used a really small, I'm going to show you the smallest little bit I can before I actually put them in, because you'll sit there and it takes a long time because the wood is quite tough. So I just drilled little holes first in a little bit, and then they were easier to screw in. So once I'd done that, we finished that. Now you don't have to put the green in here. I was going to put some jewelry over it and trim it down, but I thought I would just leave it green just to bring it out some more. So the next, I was actually going to do watches, and I tried to figure something with watches, and I didn't have much watches to put in anyways. This is actually a gift for Mother's Day. So I decided to go and add, I'm going to add this in there. I'm going to Mod Podge it in. So I'm going to glue the bottom, and then I'm going to put this in. And all this is napkins from Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to Mod Podge that down. I have a little section I will continue later. Things are drying to add in here at the moment. So I will do that. The next thing I did was this section here. So now I wanted to do something with that section. So I didn't know what I wanted to do on the back. So I actually, and now I have to get up and get it so I can show you. It's on the other side of the table. I actually bought this from Dollar Tree, you know, just the little baskets they have out, and I really like this, and I bought it purposely to use this screen. I actually already pre-cut them. It's very hard to cut them, so, and be careful when you're using scissors and stuff like that, or something very sharp. So I actually used not hedge trimmers. They're just like, it's almost like wire cutters. And I cut them, and they're really hard to cut. I'm just going to show you, like, it was really hard. Just be careful. You go slow because some of them tend to snap. Once again, you can do your own design, change it up however you want. So I'm going to glue those in there when I do those Mod Podge at the same time, so it gives you that nice look. I only used one of this tray, and I had just the sides left, but some of the pieces I am going to keep just in case I need for a future project. So there's that one. And I'm just going to show you, so I'm going to put this all together. So my next step is I wanted to put the rings in. So I'm sorry, I had to get up again. Everything's way on the other end of the table. So what we're going to do is, now you can do 2 if you have a lot of rings. I'm just going to show you on a box here. I guess I can just show you. Where am I putting it? Sorry, I'm upside down, so I don't remember where I'm putting it. I think I'm going to put it over here. Okay, I'm just going to make sure you can see. So I bought these at Dollar Tree. They're just foam hair rollers. I took all the little brackets off except the middle I kept in there. And what I'm going to do is just place, I don't know why this one's peeking out. Place them in here like this. Now I end up I bought 2 packs. I didn't fully use all of them, but you need 2 packs. You won't get away with. And you want to make them nice and snug, so when you put your rings in, they're going to sit in there nicely. Okay. So altogether, I'm just counting now, is 14. So I know pink, right? Doesn't go. So I bought a Dollar Tree infinity scarf. What I'm actually going to do, it has a little bit of a sheen. I didn't want something too shiny. It is kind of see-through, as you can see. I'll probably do 2-3 layers. I'm just going to end up cutting them in bigger squares, like, well, actually a lot bigger, because you're going to want to tuck them in Very good. And when I do that, when I tuck I'm going to cut the material, I'm going to tuck it in. I have little dowels, and I don't know why I don't see them because my table is just so full of different craftings on the go, but I'm just going to show you quickly. I'm just going to put the little dowels in there just to keep the material down. And as you can see, kind of look like, well, I'll come back and I'll show you. I'm trying to make this long video because we still have to go through another set with cork boards. So, and I'm just going to go over it twice, but I'm going to cut that, and you can just cut it bigger because you got to remember, you got to keep tucking it in. So you can't cut it, I'd say cut it like this much all the way around. You can always trim whatever you do when you're doing this. For example, you can just cut it out and tuck it in. The dowels will go in between just to keep the scarf down. So let me get these couple things glued on, and then I have 2 other containers to show you using a knee board and some cork and some other kind of tacks to hang things in these ones. So let me get this done, and I will be back once I get them in and let them dry. Okay, everybody. I say that all the time. Sorry, I always say that. Okay. So I did change out something with the curlers, the ring part. I actually chopped off the little ends. Do you see the little ends there on both sides? I actually glued the middle ones together, and then I chopped the little ends off. I tried doing it what I was telling you before until I tried, because I obviously haven't made it before, and I didn't like it. So what I opted to do, glued these together, rolled up the material a few times so then you couldn't see the pink. I just hot glued the material underneath, nothing special, you're not going to see anything under that. And then I just stuck it in there like this. They're all nice and tight in there. And I just used a little paintbrush, I'm not sure if you can see, just to stick the little material in around the corner. And I found it looking a lot nicer. The material is really cheap to begin with, but it was also really slippery. So every time I try to use the dowel to stick in between the cracks, it just wouldn't stay and it kept popping up. And I thought this one's just a lot easier because it is glued and they're all separate. So I'm just gonna put a ring in here just to show you what I mean. There. I will show you the final results when I do it. Okay, why is that side sticking out? So that's done. The next step, oh, and I did not like the napkin inside there, and I went for burlap. There's a little step, and I'm still waiting for something to dry to put in here, so I will go to that once that. I already glued it in here with Mod Podge. So, and the other 2 containers that I'm gonna fill is going to be with cork. So I got there's some tiles. I think it only came 2. Was it 2? 2 tiles from Dollarama. I wanted something a little higher underneath as well, because if you poke stuff through, more than likely, I'm just going to test it here, it's not going to be thick enough, and it's going to hit the back of the board on the inside of the tray. So all I did was measure out the tile and cut it to the square. When you cut the cork now, because the cork can be messy, I found the best thing to use, I would trace it out with I'll just use this one here. I would trace it out with a pencil, and then I did not use scissors. I actually used an X-Acto knife with the ruler going down. Was a much cleaner cut than taking scissors with it. So after saying that, so what I'm going to put to raise it up under the cork in the spot is, I think we've all seen these if you do gardening. Actually, it's this much longer with this. I'm lucky if my knee will fit on it. I actually cut out 2 from this, so I got 2 parts. Did the same idea. When I cut this piece though, I did use a super sharp knife, so be very careful. I found it was a lot easier to cut with the knife than it was with an X-Acto knife. And plus this knife, for some reason, is my sharpest one in the house, and it seems to cut stuff very well. So just be careful when you're using a knife, make sure you're using a cutting mat so you don't cut anything underneath. So what I'm gonna do, this is kind of upside down right now, so technically it's supposed to be this way. It's hard to see with so much stuff, this being a bigger unit. So I'm just gonna hot glue this down. And when I hot glue it down, I'm actually not gonna use hot glue. I'm actually gonna use E6000 because it was a little bit hard cutting it, even though the knife did very well. But because I want it to be center, I just had some little extra pieces, and I'll tell you why in a second. So the little pieces, I made them almost as high as the foam itself, like thickness, but because I wanted it to be level. The reason being is because if you look, if I did not put this piece in and just put the cork on top, you're gonna see the green sticking out. So I put the little extra pieces in now, and then I already cut my piece of cork. And voila, I'm not gonna push it right down right now because I'm gonna have to adjust the tacks. Excuse me. I'm hoping you can see this. So these little tacks, so I'm gonna do that. I'm probably just gonna use E6000 for the bottom. Excuse me. And then I'm gonna glue this top part down. These little pins I got at the Dollar Tree. They're super cute because guess what? They're gonna hang some jewelry on it. Let me just show you here. I can just hang some jewelry on it. So I am gonna do, I will show it all done when it's done. Not that my jewelry will be on it forever because this is a gift, like I said before, but I will do this part, and I already did another piece somewhere. I'll get these going. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with here. I came up with an idea, I hope it works. So let me get these ones put down. Oh, and when you buy these tacks, I mean, you can do them any way. You can do 2 rows of them. It's really up to you. You can actually omit and just use this one and use earrings, just like push pin, you know, the earrings. So it's really up to what you want to do with it. So let me get these ones glued down, and then we'll come back and we'll move on to the final square, and then I'll show you the final result. All right, so I finished it off. I told you I did the burlap. So this part, I actually used these little feet. They're called doll, I don't even remember what they're called. Doll feet or something like that. It's just wood. I bought them at Michael's. I actually used them on the Chanel vanity tray for the feet on them. And these are like big dowels that come from a wood building box that I've had from just leftovers from other projects. Just glued them in. These are obviously the shorter ones. I did not cut these, and I decided to put these there. I put a little bit of green. I just pulled them out of here and stuck them in there, and I just trimmed them shorter so they wouldn't get stuck on the jewelry. I just thought it added a little bit something different. I also did start a group called Dollar Tree Magic. Please sign up, come join. It's free to join. Another crafting group. If you please leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. I think it turned out really nice. I'm actually going to add the jewelry, and I'll finish off the video. Please subscribe. Shows me that, you know, you like the content that I'm delivering, and keeps me motivated to come up with some crazy crafts. All right, so I'm going to put some jewelry on, and then I'm going to show you the final result, and we'll be right back. All right, everybody, so I finally was able to put some jewelry on there. I think it looks pretty good. You can see my camera in the reflection. And I just put some, you can put the earrings in there. They're just like push pins, but all around, I just thought it came out really good. I'm not gonna hang it on the wall because it's a gift, so I just thought I'd show you. Anyways, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and have yourself a wonderful day. Bye.